Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to another Mortgage Coach coaching call every Tuesday morning, 9 o'clock Pacific. We're here to connect with you, deliver the mortgage industry's absolute best sales meeting. My name is Dave Savage. I am the CEO of Mortgage Coach. If this is your first time on a coaching call, please connect with me on Facebook, LinkedIn, and absolutely like Mortgage Coach on Facebook so you know who's coming to our next coaching call. Today, the big topic is all about how do you book more meetings with realtors. Obviously, that's been a topic that we have been focusing on because it's important to everybody's success. We need more purchase business, best way to get that, more realtor respect, more realtor referrals, and in order to get that, you got to have meetings. So I've got an awesome guest today. We're going to talk about, one, how to get the meetings, and two, how to execute value during those meetings. So stay tuned for that. At some point in today's call, we're going to have Mr. Jeremy Forcier jumping on the call and providing some feedback from the trenches. Jeremy is delivering a lot of realtor conversations. He's meeting with at least 15 realtors every week. When I was doing some prep for this call, I asked Jeremy how many people he's meeting, and I just think he can bring some value. So stay tuned for Jeremy jumping on impromptu at some point. I'll bring him into the conversation. So before I bring our guest in, I just want to do a review of last week. We had Rick Shear, an amazing loan officer, on the call. He did a debrief on his bio video. So I hope by this time everybody has watched it. I know, we've got, 500-ish people that watch these coaching calls, and we haven't had over 500 people watch his video. So make sure you do. I have actually put a link. It's a simple 3-minute 26-second project. There's a link right at the top of the Mortgage Coach Facebook page taking you to watch that. If you have not seen his 3-minute bio video, make sure you watch that. It's great. Again, not only is it a great tool to deliver value, your value proposition, trust and credibility with your clients, just the process of making a video like that is a great exercise in getting clear on your own value proposition and getting your team clear about it. So make sure you guys are at least watch that video as a homework assignment. Also want to remind everybody of this success story and this strategy where we had Tim Lamb. He gave us a sample of an email that he forwarded to a home buyer. He CC'd the realtor. He customized the edge link. I asked everybody if you've done anything like this or if you evolve it, I want you to email it to me. I want to see samples. So please email me some of your sample home buyer emails like this to Dave at Mortgage Coach. And I just want to make sure everybody's really clear on the strategy. Every time you forward a link to a home buyer, include the realtor. And if it's a new realtor, make sure you prod them. Make sure you send them an email saying, hey, I made this mortgage quote for your client. I'm using some great technology. And if you do that, as you can see, realtors love it. In this particular case, Tim got a meeting with Sheila. By the way, Tim, if you are on this call, would love to have you raise your hand and hear how that meeting went with Sheila. Last time we talked about it, you were scheduling the meeting. You hadn't done it yet. So if you are on this call and you want to give us an updated perspective, raise your hand at some point and let us know how that meeting went. Also, want to let everybody know that we took just a quick 2-minute piece out of the last coaching call where we really highlighted this. And so if you want to hear the whole conversation, you want to hear Tim describe this success story in more details, again, just 2 minutes and 26 seconds. It's on the Mortgage Coach Facebook page, and you can hear this live from Tim. So again, I'm going to bring Michael into the call. Jeremy will be jumping on it sometime, Michael, so I'll bring him into the conversation when he does. But let's get to the big guest today, Mr. Michael Port. We had Michael on the call, I don't know, months ago. I had awesome feedback, amazing reviews, and it's good to have you back, my friend.
It's great to be back. I see you pulled a picture with hair. That was some time ago.
Yeah, you're right. I just noticed that. We've got a couple different pictures of you.
Yeah. So I'm really happy to be here. We had a great time last time, and let's do it again.
Right on. Well, let's do a quick poll first. Part of this meeting is about getting meetings with realtors, so let's find out how many meetings everybody is having right now on a weekly basis with realtors. So I have just pushed a survey. If you're having 10 or more meetings with realtors per week, again, that can include coffee meetups. It can include group lunches. You know, when I talked to Jeremy and I asked him how many realtors have you met in the past week, he's like 27. And so, you know, some of them were coffee meetings, some of them were group meetings. So right now, 51% of you have voted. Let's get that up to 70% so we have a really good sampling of the audience. And let's see how many meetings you're having right now. Again, coffee meetings, group luncheons. How many realtors are you meeting every single week right now? All right, let's push the results. And Michael, I don't know if you have any comments, but it looks like 2% are north of 10, 12% are at 5, and everybody else is, I know.
No, look, 25% at, I gotta get my chair, 25% at none, 62% at a few, 12% at 5, and 2% at 10. Well, 2%, that 2%, look, that's the key. You know, it's always 2% of the industry that's earning the largest amount of business, right? The top performers, the people in the highest level of performance, are taking the lion's share of the sales, bottom line, and that's in almost every single field. And so look what they're doing. They're having 10 meetings a week. So that's what we got to work on. We got to get ourselves to that point. And look, oftentimes there's two reasons that we're not where we want to be, say, with respect to realtor meetings. Either number one, we don't know what to do to get more realtors and get more meetings with the realtors. Or number two, we know what to do, but we're not doing it.
Right.
So we don't know what to do, or we know what to do, but we're not doing it. So which one is worse? I'll leave it to the individual to decide. But I think the first one is easier to solve. I don't know what to do, so let's figure it out, right? We got some information. You teach every single week, the best information on how to get these meetings. So the information's there, and you can go search it out. And the future always belongs to the learner, not the learned, not the one who thinks they know all, but the learner. But the second one is very interesting to me, because if we know what we're supposed to do, but we're not doing it, why? Why? Sometimes it's for reasons that we wouldn't even imagine. We say, gosh, if I have all these meetings, how am I going to have the time to do all the things that I think I'm supposed to do in my business?
So, Michael, real quick, I would like to urge everybody, if you want to put a why you are not having more meetings, please put that in the questions area. Why aren't you having more of these meetings? Is it, your confidence of what you're going to say in those meetings? I don't know what it is. I have coached a lot of loan officers over my life, so I have some instincts around what it is. But put in some of those comments. Upload some of your whys. Why have you not done it yet? Why are you not having more meetings? What's going on? So, Michael, continue with your thoughts. I'll bring some of that conversation in as we go.
Please do, because I really, really would love to hear from them. And also, I hope we can take questions from them at the appropriate time.
We'll do some Q&A as we get to that part of the conversation. Okay. So let's, guys, put in some why. Let's make this a great coaching call. Let's get your interaction, and Michael and I will help you get more meetings.
Okay. So I think it's important to self-identify, to determine which category we're in, so that we know how to address it. And if it's the second category, that we know what to do but we're not doing it, then what's going to change for us? What's going to make us move forward? What is going to push us to reach our own potential?
By the way, Michael, sorry to cut you off on a roll, my man.
No, go ahead.
But, I mean, I have got just a storm of whys, so I am going to read these. All right. So finding the right people to have those meetings with. All right.
Okay.
I don't have a unique selling prop. John, what are you thinking? You got Mortgage Coach. By the way, I'm not going to mention a name here, but I'm lazy. By the way, nobody is lazy when you find what you're really passionate about and what you love to do. So, you're only lazy because you haven't found that, or you haven't decided that what you're doing today is that. Okay. I just started 1 week ago. okay, you know, we'll let you slide.
That's
Nervous.
That's the best excuse I've heard so far. That's a good one.
We'll let you slide. Nervous to cold call for meeting. Thank you for the candor.
Yep.
I feel like I'm bothering them. We
Yep.
need to add value. How do we consistently add value to their business?
Mm-hmm.
I'm out of time to do mortgage work. So by the way, if you said you're out of time and you're closing less than 5 loans a month, then we got to figure that out. New agents, I'm going after not calling me back. I'm getting voicemail, so a lot of voicemail, not calling me back.
Mm-hmm.
Confidence is a major issue.
Yep.
Why? Closed offices, hard to reach agents, already have lender they work with. By the way, it sounds like you've sold yourself out of why you're not going out there. You're negotiating with yourself. But I do recognize those problems. Mm-hmm. Client direct. I'm trying 2-3 weeks. I'm feeling like I'm running thin on quality agents. I'm going to micromanaging pipeline, so I'm too into the weeds. Mm-hmm. By the way, I could go on, but they're starting to get redundant. Confidence, different strategy, confidence. Mm-hmm. By the way, everybody, and Michael, we got tons of, I've only done about a quarter of the feedback. Mm-hmm. So we've got a whole lot more feedback. Guys, I'm grateful for all the feedback. Keep it coming. If I see some new stuff, I'll bring it in throughout the conversation. But at the end of the day, confidence, I'm too busy in the weeds.
Yep.
I don't know who to call.
Yep.
I'm not clear on my value proposition.
Yep.
Michael,
let's do it.
us.
Okay. So I get all of this. I completely hear you, and it makes perfect sense to me. And you know, one of the participants said, "Well, there aren't a lot of quality realtors out there." And you know, that's an interesting observation, because you don't want necessarily just to have meetings with anybody and everybody, right? Because there are some people who are going to be better, that are going to be better for you, meaning some people are not really going to be able to bring you that much business, and some will be able to bring you tons of business. And it is likely often that the one who is very established, the realtor who is very established, who can bring you tons of business, has a lender that they're working with. But that doesn't mean that they won't be open to you at some point. And as you said, Dave, if you make this assumption, well, they already have a lender that they're working with, you're negotiating yourself right out of the opportunity. You're talking yourself out of it from the start. So we go in with a blank piece of paper and a beginner's mind, no matter what stage of business development we're at. And we don't make any assumptions. We also don't look at very successful people as different than us in any way. You know, this one realtor in town is so successful, I want to get with them, but they're just too high status. You know, I'm too nervous to try to reach out to them. There's no difference between them and you. You are human beings. You both, you know, walk on the same earth. You live in the same town. They've just been doing what they're doing for a little while longer, or they may be working harder at it and they've had some more success. But if you truly feel like you are in service of your clients, truly stand in the service of them as you stand in the service of your own destiny, well, then you have the right to stand on that stage, so to speak. So it's okay to be nervous. Just never doubt your place in the arena. It's okay to be nervous. Just never doubt your place in the arena. So if we want to get more meetings, we're going to have to certainly get better at networking. Our direct outreach is going to need to get better. Our specific referral strategies, of course, are going to need to get better. And we may use things like speaking strategies, give public talks. We may use writing strategies. We may blog. We may write articles. We may use various web strategies, search engine optimization, pay-per-click, all that kind of stuff. But ultimately, the personal relationship that you're developing is the key, because when somebody likes you, you're relevant to them. And when you're relevant to them, they pay attention to you. And then when they pay attention to you, you're more popular. And that's what you're trying to do, essentially. You're trying to become more popular in your marketplace. And the good thing is this.
Hey, by the way, Michael, I think Jeremy just joined us. Jeremy Forcier, you on the call, my man?
Yes.
All right. So, hey, Michael, Jeremy's only got a few minutes. Let me bring him into the conversation, and then you can play off it and continue. So everybody, when I was doing my prep for this meeting and this conversation with Michael, I reached out to a few people that I know that are mega successful. Jeremy is super successful, even in today's market. So Jeremy, how many realtors are you meeting with a week right now?
I'm meeting with a minimum of 15 realtors face-to-face every single week.
And what do those meetings look like?
So they look like lunch appointments. I try to do a lot of what I call buddy lunches. So that means bringing a realtor who brings another realtor who can feel free to bring another realtor to the lunch. So I'm doing buddy lunches, so leverage lunches with multiple agents at one time. I'm doing a whole lot of coffees. What I love about coffee is that you can only eat 3 meals a day, but you can have 20 cups of coffee, and it's only $1.41 a cup. So doing a ton of coffees with agents, and yeah, I mean, that's what it looks like really at the end of the day is coffee. I love going to their office. It's great when you can get someone to come to your office, but when you go to their office, there's also more opportunities, more exposure, more agency, who you are, who you're meeting with, and it becomes easier to go ahead and make that outbound call to other agents who just saw you. You have a reason to call them. So that's basically what it looks like on a weekly basis for me.
And what's your value prop, and what are you guys talking about during those meetings so that people get a feel for, how you're executing the meeting and how you're getting your confidence to have those meetings?
Well, it's so awesome. By the way, Michael, great stuff, man. I was listening to you for about 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and it's just what Michael was saying. I mean, you need to become relevant to them. And you can become relevant in a couple different ways. One is likability, which is what he was talking about. But two is, how can you help? What are you going to add to their business? So if you're talking about a first appointment, Dave, like what are we talking about kind of thing, it's always the same 5 questions every single time. It's thank you for taking for 15, 20 minutes of your time today. I know you're busy, so I'm going to stick to the time frame that I outlined. I have 5 questions for you. Number 1, where are you having your most success right now in the business? And then you shut up and you let them talk and you take notes. Number 2 is where are you having your biggest pain or challenge right now in the business? Then you shut up and you take notes. Number 3 is what are the top 3 things that you need from a lender? What are the top 3 things that you need from a lender? Number 4 is with your current lending relationships, what could be better? And then number 5 is if I could show you how to earn more referrals by working with me in my system to earn an extra 2 closed transactions per year from a database that you already have, would that interest you? And that's it. So it's the same 5 questions every single time on the first appointment. I do maybe 20% of the talking, and then it just comes to a function of follow-up and doing what you say and saying what you do.
Boom. So that was solid stuff. So everybody on the call is a mortgage coach, loan officer. How are you integrating mortgage coach, mobile or video, any of the tools that they all have into your conversation, or are you integrating that?
Yeah. So it's a great question. So yes, I absolutely am. So for example, last Friday, met with 3 agents who I've never met with before who were referred to me by other agents because, by the way, that's the best way to get in front of realtors, in my opinion, asking people who you already know, who like you, to put you in touch with other people that you think could be a good fit or have benefit of meeting you, knowing you, working with you. So I go out to this appointment, and they had, I didn't control any of the conversation. I barely even got to my questions. They wanted to talk, which is great. Let them talk. So I went ahead and showed them how some of the technology stuff that we use. So I pulled out my iPad, explained how we always do a video spreadsheet to everyone, a video experience presentation to everyone that they get, that they can watch, that you're always included on as the realtor, so you know exactly what we're telling the client. Showed them on the Edge report, what the report looks like, what it covers, and they were just blown away. So absolutely I am using technology, specifically Mortgage Coach Edge mobile, in those presentations. It gives something that's easy to use, that's sexy. It's very techy, especially to most agents. They don't use anything like that whatsoever, and it really gets buy-in from them of, wow, this guy's on top of his game, or this gal's on top of her game. So absolutely I'm using that.
Cool. And so you're showing them, how you're delivering mortgage strategies to your clients. You're using innovative technology, video, mobile. They're impressed with that. Any other just words of wisdom? I know you're in between meetings. Any other words of wisdom for everybody? I don't know if you heard all the reasons people aren't doing it. I'm not confident in my value prop. I don't have confidence. I don't know who to call. Any last words of wisdom before we let you get to your next meeting, Jeremy?
Yeah, I mean, all I would say is everything that Michael's saying is so spot on and awesome. I mean, at the end of the day, the only reason you're not doing something is because you're not doing it. The only reason you're not doing something is because you're not doing it. It doesn't make any sense. Like, if I told you that you could have, $25 million in cash, but you just had to do these 5 things, do you think you would figure out a way to do those 5 things? If it's not killing someone, etc., you probably would figure it out. So I would say that there are no, all the excuses or these people have lenders or I'm not confident in my value prop. Just start doing it. Feel the fear. It's okay to feel the fear. Feel the fear, but then do it anyway. Because if you do that, you will be able to overcome, and that's what's going to create your confidence is by doing, not making excuses about why you're not doing it.
Right on, Jeremy. Hey, Michael, any questions you have for Jeremy before we let him get to his meeting and we roll from here?
No, I thought that was fantastic. I'm with you 100% on every single one of your points. Nice work.
Yeah, well, thank you. Well, you guys have an awesome day. Call a bunch of realtors. Don't be afraid. They're people. They go bankrupt just like us. It's all good. Go help them.
That's great.
All right, man. Jeremy, thanks a lot, brother. Take care, and
Cool.
rock on, man. So guys, that was some good notes from the trenches, from someone who's closing a lot of loans. He's going to do over $100 million of production this year, and it's no secret why. He's meeting with a lot of people with a lot of confidence. Yeah. He's got the same tools you guys have. He's got the same value prop everybody on this call has. He's just using it every single day in every single conversation. So, Michael, let's continue with your thoughts.
Yeah, his number 5 was if I could get you more referrals, right? This is what he's saying to the realtor when he's having the meeting. Would you like that? And, of course, they say yes. Look, I just gave the keynote speech at Lincoln Center in New York City for Coldwell Banker in October. And guess what their number 1 issue was? Same number 1 issue that you have. They need more referrals. They're in the exact same situation you're in. So why would we look at them as different? Why would they intimidate us? They need us as much as we need them. So that's important to remember, that their biggest need is the same as yours. A number of years ago, a guy named Brent Burns came to my School of Coach Training. I run a Book Yourself Solid School of Coach Training where I license coaches to use the Book Yourself Solid intellectual property. And he joined the school. And I said, oh, that's interesting because you're in the mortgage business. Do you want to become a coach? And instead he goes, no. I'm going to stay here, but I want the license so that I can teach realtors how to get booked solid. So I can set up workshops for them, have seminars for them. I can even work one-on-one with people, all for free, but as a way to add value so that they see me coming in and making their lives easier, helping them achieve what they want to achieve and solving their number 1 problem. I thought it was genius. I think it was just absolutely brilliant. So you want to find ways of doing things like that. Because when you sell the kind of products you do, you're not, what you're selling is not dissimilar from what your competitors are selling. And so you need your value proposition, so to speak, is not necessarily going to come from the product you sell. It's going to come from things like Mortgage Coach, like these mobile apps, the other technology that Dave is providing you. And it's going to come in large part from who you are, the way you show up in the world, what you stand for. It's really, really important. Think about it. When somebody considers you, whether it's whether they're going to refer to you or someone's going to hire you, when they consider you for anything, the first thing they want to know is who do they help and what do they help them do? So, I would say, do you help me get what I want? So am I in your target market? And do you help me achieve the results, produce the result that I want? Now, if it's a realtor, they're saying, does this does this person help me get what I want from a business perspective? Okay. And if the answer is no, they go away. If the answer is yes, then the next thing they want to know is, what do you stand for? Why do you do this? Why do you get up every day to do this work? Is it just because, the commissions are a little better than, something else that's a commission-based business? I mean, what's the deal? Why do you do this? They need to connect with you emotionally, philosophically, maybe even spiritually, just the way you would connect with any friend, with any person that you have a real relationship with in your life. And when you're just looking at the very tactical, very technical aspects of the value proposition, you're missing the big picture. You're missing the point. When somebody sends a referral to you, it's because they like you more than the others. And not because your products are that much better. It's because they like you better. So likability is something that we can increase. We can increase our likability factor if we do 4 things. Number 1, if we're friendlier. Now, that may seem simplistic, but ask yourself honestly, have you been as friendly as you possibly could be today? Have you been? To everybody around you, whether you know them or not. Have you been as friendly as you possibly could be? That's number 1. And you can be friendlier tomorrow if you weren't as friendly as you could possibly be today. Number 2, how real have you been? Have you gone in with a big elevator pitch, lots of hyperbole about how fabulous you are, et cetera, et cetera? Or did you show up as a real person, connecting with them as a real person? Simple as that. And it also means not watering yourself down. Being real is demonstrating what you stand for, is being fully self-expressed. But here's the thing. If you're very, very friendly and you're not real, you might be from L.A. So for those on the phone who are from L.A., they never like that joke, but the others like that joke because you know what I mean? It's the, hey, how you doing? What's up? Like, let's do lunch. And then they walk away and they never hear from you again, or you never hear from them again. So that's that sort of fake, big friendly bubbliness, that doesn't land, it doesn't resonate, it's not real. So friendliness, realness can increase your likability factor. Empathy can increase your likability factor. Do you, as Jeremy was saying, do you look to their needs before yours? Can you see the world from their perspective? That's number 3. And number 4, are you relevant? Now this is the really interesting question. How can you be relevant? So I gave you one example. This Brent Burns was a particular example where he was teaching them how to get more clients. Brilliant. Can you do something that I call the always have something to invite people to offer? Every week, same time, same place, same day. You organize something that is of value to them. It may just be a simple, get-together, like Jeremy was saying, you put a little lunch together with 4 or 5 people that are all relevant to each other. Everybody comes. It may be something that has some educational component, maybe. It may be something that actually has nothing to do with business, but it's all personal, it's all social, but you're inviting your target audience. I knew a realtor. I came to one of my workshops. He is in Canada, in Vancouver, and he was a hockey player, like a really good hockey player. And all of his clients all played hockey. All of his networking with adults that played hockey. Amateur hockey players, but very competent, proficient hockey players. And he would put on hockey games. He would do, like actual hockey games at the rink. He would host parties when there were big hockey games on TV. And people gathered around him, and they started, sending him business because they really liked him. So that likability factor is huge. And the beautiful thing is, it's easy to do, especially if you hate marketing and selling. You don't have to do anything technical. You don't have to do anything particularly complicated, except be friendlier, be more real, be more empathetic, and more relevant. Because if you're relevant, they pay attention. You're relevant, you're more popular, and popularity is what wins when it comes to our work, earning referrals, and selling business, closing business, booking business. So think about relevancy. Okay. Now, one of the other things that is really, really important is that idea of time constraints. And let's look at it from two perspectives. Number one, if you feel like you don't have time to do this kind of work, to get on the phone and try to make appointments with realtors, to contact them via email, to go to networking events, etc., then you probably have a lot of waste in your business right now, so that you're taking a lot more time to do the things you need to do than necessary. Because the length of time we have to do something is generally the length of time it takes to do something. So if you have 4 weeks to finish writing up a proposal, you'll take 4 weeks. You'll do it the day before it's due. But if you have 1 hour to finish the proposal, you'll get it done in 1 hour. So if you can constrain your schedule significantly so that you prioritize the work you need to do more impressively, you will get more done and free up more time to go out and have these kind of meetings. So that's number one. Number two, everybody else is under lots of time pressure themselves. And one of the biggest concerns people have when you reach out to them is, how much time is this person going to take? Are they going to ask a lot of me? If I say, yeah, I'll get together with you, does that mean that they're going to call me all the time, that they're going to push on me? You know, they're going to want me to sit there for 2 hours. What do they want? What do they want? And is it going to require a lot of effort and time and work from me? And if they feel that it is, or they're not sure, then they say no to you. But if they feel that you respect their time, if you will not take more of their time than they are willing to give you, then they'll give you the time. So any conversation I start with somebody that I don't know, I always start with, say, hey, let's talk for 5 minutes. Sometimes 15, but generally, let's talk for 5 minutes. That's it. And then if you connect in those 5 minutes, then you say, hey, let's talk again. Let's make an appointment. Let's talk for 15 minutes. So you're slowly building this relationship over time. That's the way the best relationships are built, slowly over time. And it also sets you apart in a way, because you don't seem desperate. You don't seem like you're coming in there, trying to suck all the life out of them and keep them for yourself. Hey, I've got 5 minutes. I'd love to chat with you real quick. But boom, and maybe you hit one of the two of those things that that Jeremy mentioned. And if the conversation keeps going and they're engaging with you, well, you can keep talking. But try to constrain. Say, listen, I want to talk to you. I only want to take 5 minutes, or I only want to take 15 minutes. Be really clear about that. I only want to ask you these 5 questions, or these 3 questions. Really clear and specific. Now, in order to get the meetings, right? In order to get the meetings, there are 4 things I suggest you do every day. 4 things. Number 1, introduce 2 people inside your network who do not yet know each other but might find each other relevant. Introduce 2 people inside your network who do not yet know each other but might find each other relevant. They could find each other relevant from a professional perspective, or it could be from a personal perspective. So professionally, you might say, maybe you introduce, 2 other realtors, because realtors want to know other realtors as well. They do lots of deals together. So you say, Steve meets Sally, Sally meets Steve. You guys are both in the same area. I wonder if you've met each other before. You guys are awesome because of this. I like you both because of this. Here's your contact information. Peace out. See you later. Go do big things in the world. That's it. It's not your responsibility whether or not they do anything together. But you are creating an opportunity for them. So you're demonstrating that you're super friendly. You're demonstrating that you're real in the way that you make the introduction. Demonstrating that you have empathy, meaning you can see the world through their eyes and identify how they're feeling, right, what they need. And you can be relevant because you're providing these opportunities for each person. And you can do this each day. Now, it also could be personal. You say, hey, Steve meets Sally, Sally meets Steve. You guys are both scratch golfers, and I know you're always looking for a 4th, but you'll only, play with somebody who's fantastic, which is why you never ask me, because I suck. So I thought you might want to meet each other. You're pretty close to each other. You don't think you're at the same club, but here's your information. Peace out. See you later. That's it. If they develop a relationship, it's because of you. They will always remember that. They will always know you made that happen. And you can do that every day in just a couple minutes. You don't even have to leave the house. You can do this on your mobile device, sitting at a traffic light. That's it. It takes a couple minutes, a couple seconds sometimes. Second thing I suggest you do each day is share some information with at least 2 people inside your network. And it doesn't need to be information about the mortgage industry or the real estate, or it doesn't have to be related specifically to the work that somebody does. In fact, sometimes it's better if it's related to the hobbies, to the interests that somebody has. Why? Because they're much more interested in talking about their hobbies than they are about work generally. Like, I'm a big boater. I'll talk about boating all day long. I mean, till I'm blue in the face. I'll stay up all night long talking about boating. I don't really want to talk about book writing all day long. I don't really want to talk about webinars all day long, because I do that all day long. So if you can connect with somebody around what they're most interested in, what they're passionate about, well, they'll be more likely to talk to you. They know you know what's relevant to them and are paying attention to resources that would be relevant to them. So you might say, hey, you know, Steve, I just saw this article. I know you're an obsessive boater. And I saw this article about boats and this thing that happened in the Hudson River, and it's very interesting, and there's this big case going on. Have you seen it? Here's the link. If not, you know, what do you think? Now you're in a conversation with them about something that's very interesting. So you're top of mind anytime they're thinking of, they meet somebody who needs the kind of services you provide. You stay top of mind. You do that with 2 people each day. So I want you to count. Do the math for me. That's introducing 2 people, and you're now sharing information with 2 people. The next thing I suggest you do is share compassion with at least 1 person every day in a special way. You either write a card, you pick up the phone, you send a little gift. You can send an email too, but what you're doing is you're sharing your heart. Now, for those of you tough guys out there that think that's a little corny, it is, because people are corny in a good way. We are all people who feel a lot, and those people that seem like they don't feel a lot are usually just hiding the fact that they feel, because they think, you know, emotions or feelings make them look weak. But everybody has feelings, and everybody needs picking up when they fall down. Everybody needs support from time to time. And if you are the one there offering support, demonstrating that you care about them and want to help, well, you're the one they think of when they meet somebody or know somebody who needs what you offer. So I just want you to count for a second. That's 5 people that you're connecting with a day. 5 people. You did this all from your mobile device. You didn't even go anywhere, right? 5 people. There are 5 days in a week. 5 times 5 is 25. There are 4 weeks in a month. 25 times 4 is 100. That means you're staying in touch with 100 people in your network every single month in a very, very meaningful way. You're not asking anything of them when you're doing this kind of outreach, this kind of connection. You're simply being relevant and adding value to their lives. And from time to time, you may need something. You want to get a meeting. You want to meet somebody. You're going to ask for that introduction from them. And when you get the warm introduction to the person you want to meet, that person's going to respond and say, yeah, absolutely. You know, like if Dave said, Michael, I want you to meet somebody, made the introduction, I'd say, absolutely, because I like Dave. I know Dave, and I trust Dave. But if that person just called up cold, I probably wouldn't really respond. You know, I mean, if they were president of, Apple, right? Sure, okay, great, I'd respond because, that's a pretty high-level professional that I would want to meet. But if you're just sort of one of the pack, they might not respond. So if you're doing these things each day, if you always have some sort of invitation that you can make anytime you meet somebody that is bringing people together, that's frequent, that's consistent, that's adding value like those examples I gave earlier, you'll start to be perceived in a different way. You start to become more popular. People start talking about you and the things that you do. And this is how, over time, you earn more referrals. There's no trick to going out tomorrow and getting 25 referral meetings. I mean, you could call people all day long, and maybe you'll get there, but you definitely won't have time to do anything else if that's the case. because it takes time to earn anything substantial. So the question is, are you willing to take the time to earn these meetings? And if you are, you'll get them. If you're not, then you should be in a different business. Because this is a business that requires you do this kind of work, that you earn the attention that you want.
So Michael, did you have a thought you wanted to finish before I ask the question?
And yes, one last thing. Confidence has come up a lot. Jeremy spoke to that point, confidence. You mentioned he seems so confident. You seem confident. I seem confident. And a lot of the folks who are watching right now said, I don't feel confident. Confidence comes from learning in action. So we can help make you feel more confident right now by giving you some tools, giving you some support, trying to inspire you. But it will live in you when you act on these things. So you learn in action. What you learn today, you're able to then put into play tomorrow. What you learn tomorrow, you're able to put into play the next day. And that's how you earn that confidence as well. You feel good about yourself because you are learning in action. Go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, first of all, I thought that was powerful. I guess the only thing I would add on to that is it takes a tremendous amount of courage to overcome fear, and every time you do it, you grow. So there is no shortcuts to that, and there's no doubt the confidence piece is a big one for everybody. I mean, every time I ask someone, why aren't you doing this? They give, I don't have time. Well, why aren't you doing that? Because of X. And why aren't you doing that? Yeah. By the time I've asked that question 5 times, it really just came down to confidence or some fear-based issue.
Yeah, what's interesting, Dave? I'm going to move my desk up a little. There we go. What's interesting? It's to have an electric desk. I can go up and down. I can stand up, actually. Yeah, see, I like that. Just like you, I can stand up. So, there we go. Now I'm standing up. So, you mentioned earlier that people, say, well, I don't have the time. This is one of the, biggest things that people complain about. I'm going into Microsoft to do some work with their human resource department, their recruiters. Mm-hmm. And I asked the executive, I said, what is the biggest issue? Like, what am I going to, when I go in there, what's the biggest objection that I'm going to face? Like, what are they going to push back on? And across the board, they said, they're all going to say they don't have time. Right? And one of the reasons we say we don't have time is because the kind of work we need to do to earn the referrals doesn't necessarily give us that return immediately. So it's not quid pro quo. You don't know if the people you introduce today are going to produce any value for you today or even in a year. You don't know it. So it seems like a big risk to spend time doing something that you don't know if it's going to produce results or not. So it takes a lot of courage to say, this seems to make sense to me. I am going to try some of these things that people who have been very, very successful, who have made millions and millions of dollars doing the thing that I want to do, are suggesting I do. Even if it doesn't seem like I have time, I'm going to find a way to make the time. Because they say it has produced results for them over time. So I'm willing to make the time. Because that's the thing about networking and marketing and any kind of sales efforts. You don't always know what you're going to produce immediately.
Yeah, you got to have the faith.
That's what's scary. That's what's scary.
Yeah. And you got to have vision. So let's break down a few things. So guys, you've got 5 awesome questions. I've heard a lot of people ask, what were those 5 questions again? I'm going to have my team go and grab the soundbite where Jeremy, said his 5 questions. I don't think it was more than 3 minutes. And we'll post that on Facebook either today or tomorrow. So that will be on our page, Jeremy sharing those 5 questions. So that should give you a lot of confidence that you can go into a meeting armed with the same thing Jeremy has. Mortgage Coach has an amazing borrower conversation, an amazing technology edge that gives you something unique and different to talk about. So you've got that. And we'll give you that soundbite so you can have it. I'm not going to repeat Jeremy's questions right now because we nailed it. And you should listen to this call again. So if you don't have the confidence and you're not getting the meetings, listen to this entire call one more time, because Michael gave a tremendous amount of wisdom and insight, very high level, very strategic, that will give you everything you need. So Michael, I do in the context of this call right now, we've got, let's see, about 15 minutes left. I want to spend 5 minutes on what do we say to get the meeting. While I've done that in a lot of other calls, I want to give, to get over that hurdle, some talking points, some strategy, very tactical, to get that meeting. What is your either campaign?
Sure.
What is your call? Let's get tactical on that for everybody. Okay. So in the context of this, they walk away with some confidence around tactically knowing what to do.
Sure. So I have a little bit of a different perspective on this, I think. This is what I do. When I want to have that meeting, I will say, look, I want to meet you because, here's what I want to make happen. Obviously, I want to build a relationship with you because hopefully, you'll be able to send me business and hopefully I'll be able to send you business. But I don't expect it. I don't expect it. Everybody wants to meet with you. Of course they do. So I'm just being completely honest about it. This is why I want to meet with you. For 5 minutes, we'll get together and we'll talk. And if you, think I smell or there's something wrong with me, you'll say, go away, and I'll go right away, and there'll never be any issue, you'll never have any problem with it. So that kind of transparency, that kind of openness is refreshing. I don't know why it is. I mean, it shouldn't be, but it is because people are coming in with these sort of schemes and these plans and these, kind of tricks. And hey, by the way, I'm going to be driving by your office today, so why don't I stop by? You're going to be there between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. possibly? So it just sounds phony. It's not real. So if you're just real, you're straight up with them, if they've paid attention to you at all because of the things that you're doing, this always has something to invite people to offer, the way that you're making introductions, the way that you're sharing information, the way that you're sharing compassion. You ask for that meeting, not in the very first time you meet with them, unless organically it feels right. But as you start to earn more trust, because all offers, and a meeting for an offer is some kind of sales offer, all offers must be proportionate to the amount of trust that we've earned. All sales offers must be proportionate to the amount of trust that we've earned. So if you go in trying to make something happen too quick, trying to close a deal too quick, whether it's with getting the meeting with a potential referral partner or booking actual business, it pushes people off. When you take your time, you seem confident. But when I say take your time, you're always present. You're not disappearing. You're staying in contact. So when you call them up, when you email them, when you meet them, say, hey, look, I have no idea if, we're going to be able to do any business together, but I would love to talk to you for 5 minutes, get a sense of what you're trying to accomplish, and if we connect, we'll continue to talk. And if we don't, I'll piss off. I'll bugger off. And that's usually all you need to do. I mean, Dave, does that sound crazy to you?
No. I mean, first of all, it's a philosophy. I mean, what I heard out of that is, first of all, there's no magic pill.
Nope.
There's no one ask.
Nope.
I formed this intention around, I want a meeting with you.
Yep.
I am very dedicated to earning the trust and the respect. And whether I get that meeting in this first conversation that we have, or I'm going to get this meeting 3 weeks from now or a month from now, once I feel that I've delivered some value, it doesn't matter. It's about an intention and a long-term commitment to earn the meeting. So I guess the only thing I would add to that is you heard Jeremy. He loves getting meetings, referrals from other realtors that love him and trust him. So, if you have gone through all of your trusted relationships, CPAs, financial planners, past customers, current realtors, and you feel that you've asked them for help. I want to meet more realtors. It's a purchase market. If you feel that you have done that, which, by the way, I'm willing to bet that most of you on here, you've not done that. So before you go out and you just cold call new sources, let's make sure that the people that love you, in the spirit of Bob Odine's The Power of Who, go to your who, the people that know you, like you, and trust you.
And this is why those specific things that I suggest you do every day are so important, because what people will say is, Michael, I want to call up that, that attorney that I knew for a long time, or that realtor that I knew for a long time, or that CPA that I knew, but I haven't talked to them in like 2 years. I mean, I'm just going to call them up and be like, hey, can you get me meetings? I haven't seen them in 2 years. Yeah, of course you're going to be nervous because you haven't earn that ask because you haven't kept in touch with them over the last 2 years. But if you start doing the things that I suggest within a short period of time, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, you'll have earned it. So you're staying in touch with these important people. This is your network of influential people that can get you these meetings. You don't need to know a lot of people. You just need to know the right people that are going to open these doors for you, and your job is to keep in touch with them in ways that is relevant to them, not in ways that is just relevant to you. Does that make sense,
Beautiful.
Dave?
Makes total sense. So a couple things I want to make sure we get in this call. By the way, we've got an awesome coaching call next week with Dan Keller. He's going to talk about leveraging video, social, and how to deliver value in today's contemporary market. And I'll try to get Jeremy to fly in again for 5 minutes and share some of his scripting and how he's getting the meeting. So we're going to do that. So by the way, Michael, Tim Lamb has jumped in. We've got about 10 minutes. I'm going to unmute Tim for just 3 minutes, and then we'll wrap up the call with some other thoughts and strategies. So hey, Tim Lamb, I have unmuted you, and I noticed you just jumped in the call. If you wouldn't mind giving us an update on last week's success story real quick, let us know how things are unfolding for you.
Perfect, Dave. Can you hear me all right?
We can hear you perfectly.
All right, great. So just to follow up on Sheila King, to set the stage one more quick time was, I know of this agent, but we had never done any business together. This client was referred to me by another referral source. I had sent out the EDGE presentation to the consumer, copied Sheila in on this, and then as Dave says, I prompted her to make sure that she's taken advantage of the link and got the wowza back. I think one of the key things you got to do there is as soon as I got that email, I picked up the phone and reached out to her and scheduled a lunch with her. And that's kind of where we had left it last time, Dave, is I had the lunch scheduled with her. We went and had the lunch. It was a great meeting with her. She asked me 3 times in the meeting to talk about EDGE, and I pulled it back, almost a takeaway scenario, and tried to learn as much about her as I could before I went into the EDGE and how important it was and how cool the technology was. And at the end of the conversation, then I brought in EDGE, introduced it to her. And as of today, I have a contract on my desk from that transaction that we're working on. So Ken Delaney there, we have that contract in place. And yesterday, I got the first referral from her on the buyer side transaction. So it has been a huge, huge deal, guys, huge deal.
All right, man. So, hey, first of all, congrats. Thanks for being willing to share that email and that success story and come on today's call and give us the update that things are moving forward and that you can get meetings and you can build new relationships. And wow, look at this. This started on October 28th, and here we are 2 weeks later, and just from some good moves, some strategery, some quality interaction, you've got a new realtor relationship and you just got your first referral. So, I mean, really awesome.
Hey, Dave, can I add one thing here? As I left the Sales Mastery event, I left with, what do I have to lose? If I hadn't reached out to Sheila and tried to connect with her, what have I lost? I haven't lost anything. By reaching out to her, I really haven't lost anything anyways, because I didn't have Sheila as my contact or my referral resource anyway. So I would just throw out to, what do you guys have to lose? If you're not reaching out to those agents on the listing side of the transaction or the buyer side of the transaction, what do you have to lose? And on the flip side, I think it's great practice. I mean, if that listing agent is someone that I don't know, what's a better person to practice on is another agent in my environment that I can practice on. Maybe I'm not going to get that agent because of whatever the relationship is, but maybe the next one, because of what I've learned from that previous one, is what I can benefit in the future from. So what do you got to lose, guys?
That's beautiful, man. Hey, thanks for jumping in, Tim. Really appreciate it.
You know, as Tim said, you can't lose what you don't have. You know?
No doubt. So, hey, guys.
Let me give you a quick, one more quick example, Dave. So obviously I have homes and I have a boat, as I mentioned. This last home that I bought in 2010, the woman we used for the mortgage was perfectly nice, fine. She came from a referral from my realtor, who I use on every property that I buy. It's a husband and wife team. They're fantastic. I love them. And she did the deal on this one. This is 2010. It's just almost 2014. I've never heard from her since, not once. Not once. The fellow that did the mortgage for my boat, every 2 weeks, I get an email from him after it was closed, mind you. There were little articles about, hey, I noticed this thing, you might be interested about voting, or it was just a, hey, I want to let you know that I'm thinking about you during this time of year, or whatever it is. Now, check this out. Recently, he was with Bank of America, and recently Bank of America stopped doing boat loans. So he sent an email to me, and I assume to his other clients, saying, hey, listen, here's what's going on. I'm out of a job. I hold nothing against Bank of America. They've just changed, their strategy. But I'm looking for a job. Anybody know anything, let me know. And I introduced him to somebody, and he got an interview for that. So all he did was keep in touch with me after he sold me something. The other woman, nothing, zilch. Makes a huge difference. It's a simple thing. It's not a complicated thing.
Makes tons of sense, my friend. So as we go into the wrap-up mode, in the spirit of mobile innovation, one of my goals and missions is that every mortgage professional should be a mobile leader to realtors. So obviously, the Edge app is a piece of that. That's how we deliver mortgage strategies. And Michael, you have just amazing content. I mean, I've purchased all your books. I've read all your books. I am particularly impressed with the fact that you've got an awesome mobile app / book. And so I really want to make sure our members, I feel that having you on this call is a gift, and I feel that the content that you create is a gift. I mean, from my perspective, when I look at some of the books you've created, they're better than what you can learn in a college course. And we both know how much a college course costs, how much time it takes. So if you wouldn't mind just telling everybody about your mobile app and how they could get value personally and how they could involve that in the realtor value, I'd really appreciate it.
Sure. So Book Yourself Solid was my very first book, and it's in 25 different languages and 3 different editions. And the most recent edition came out in April, and it was called Book Yourself Solid Illustrated. So we cut half the text, and we illustrated all of the concepts in the book so you could see them. You don't have to just read about them. You can see them and get a picture of them in their mind. So you go, I get it, I know what he's talking about. You can always go back and get refreshers. And then what we did is we created exercise after exercise after exercise to walk you through all of the components of building the Book Yourself Solid system, because it is a significant system. And we put it into a mobile app. So you can do it in your app. You can do it even on a browser if you want, but you can walk around with this thing, and you can do your exercises right in the mobile app. And it'll tell you where you are, what you've done, and what you need to continue to do. So you see the check marks there on the screen. You go back for a sec. Yep. Now, those are done. Now you didn't do 2.5, you didn't do 2.8, and you keep moving it in. Once you have all those check marks in, you have a full Book Yourself Solid marketing system complete. You can enter all your answers right in here. You can print them out in PDF, so you've got them offline as well. And you can get it at iTunes, and you'll love it. You'll have a great time with it.
Beautiful. So again, I believe Michael Port has tremendous value and insight. I hope this call has been valuable to everybody on the call. I do want to remind everybody we have a Thursday call at 9 o'clock Pacific time to get tactical. If you don't know how to have that mobile conversation, if you don't know how to create a video, if you don't know how to create some of the things that we talk about in these calls, just show up to our Thursday call. And remember, we're here to help you guys. That's why we do the Tuesday call, the Thursday call, and that's why we bring this type of content to the table. So, Michael, as we wrap up today's call, any parting words or thoughts?
You can pick up 3 chapters of all my books at michaelport.com or bookyourselfsolid.com. We'll give you 3 free chapters from this Book Yourself Solid Illustrated. So either michaelport.com or bookyourselfsolid.com, either one. And you get a whole bunch of free chapters. So go there and download your chapters and start reading them tonight. I would just say, look, keep thinking big about who you are and what you offer the world. I mean, the bottom line is that, we're talking about your future, nobody else's. It's not your parents, it's not your spouse's, it's your future. And, you create your own destiny. So you are more than you think. You can do a lot more with less than you think. And ultimately, together, we can do more than you can do alone. But this big thinking that we're talking about, it needs to happen now, today, tomorrow, and forevermore. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to be of service. It's always a pleasure. I never take it for granted. And Dave, keep up the great work.
Yeah, well, thank you for being here. Appreciate all the wisdom, the sharing. I hope this was valuable to everybody. Again, reminders, we will post content for next week's call on the Mortgage Coach page, but go check out Michael's app. It's a fantastic tool. Not only do I think that it will help you get more meetings, I think it will help you be a better leader to realtors. Team up with some of your realtors that are like-minded, that want to go to the next level, and go through this experience together. And let me know what you think. I want to hear what you thought of this call. I want to hear what you think of Michael's app. So don't hesitate to either post your thoughts on our Facebook page or email me directly at Dave@mortgagecoach.com. Thank you, Michael, and thank everybody. Take care.